Oh, here we go. We're live. I'm always
Woo.
surprised when it says you're live, even though I pressed the button that said go live. So, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, so it must be time for Defying Expectations with Suki Jeffries. And my treasured guest this morning is Kenyatta Turner of Freedom Empire Consulting. She's also one of the transformational coaches in my life. That some of the things that she has offered have changed the trajectory of my life. But she's got a fascinating story to tell, and we talk about defying expectations because sometimes it takes defying expectations, either yours or other people's, to really help you move into your best life, and the life that suits you and that brings you joy and purpose. So, Kenyatta, I'm going to have you introduce yourself, your magnificent self. So, what would
Ooh.
you like us to know about you?
Well, what actually don't I want you to know? No, I tell you everything. Suki, I am so glad to be here. Thank you for having me on your live stream show on LinkedIn. Hey, LinkedIn fam. My name is Kenyatta Turner. I'm the CEO and founder of Freedom Empire Consulting, where I coach, I influence, and I protect. More on that later. But basically, I am a human behaviorist. I'm a behavioral superpowers coach and consultant, strategist, trainer. I specialize in helping people understand who they are at their core. And we literally decode human behavior through this behavioral exercise that we have. So I'm also the co-founder and chief behavioral superpowers officer for a company called Dream Smart Academy. And with Dream Smart, what we do is we are the science behind this behavioral tech tool. So I have a lot of fun working in the space of psychometric assessments and personality tests, like the $2 billion industry. And we are one of the players in that industry with our behavioral tool. So I do a lot of work around helping people get access to the tool, helping them understand. I train the coaches and the consultants and the trainers who use this tool in their practices. So just a speaker, coach, a trainer, international best-selling author, love to work with people and love to really just help people understand themselves so that they can maximize their lives through that understanding, which leads to understanding of others. So that's just a couple of things that I do.
Just
And
a
I've been
couple of
working with
things.
Suki forever. So yeah, one of my
Feels like,
star students.
oh, you're so sweet. So, my camera has been going in and out all day long. So, I'm sorry. We're going to continue, even
Okay.
though you can't see me, but you
Yeah,
can hear me okay, right?
I can hear you. Yeah. And you're frozen. So I see an
Yes.
image of you frozen. So it's a cute little
Okay.
image.
Okay. Well, you can talk to me that way. All right. So, thank you so much for being here. So,
Yeah.
I would really love to hear one of your defying expectations stories. And one of the ones that I find really fascinating is when you quit your job to
Mm.
start Freedom Empire Consulting. Can you tell us about that?
So yeah, that was definitely a defying expectations moment. I'd already at that point when I did leave my profession, I retired myself, I guess, from working in higher education. I basically started working in colleges at the age of 18. So 20 plus years later, I was still there. And I'd built a very successful career working in post-secondary education. I was the director of career services and student services and marketing departments. I mean, every director of admissions for 6 years, like every department except for financial aid, I ran and was in executive leadership. The expectation would have been for me to continue in that path. Actually, the expectation was for me to get my doctorate degree in post-secondary education and then to be a campus president. Quite honestly, that's what I thought that I wanted. I wanted my own campus. And so that was the expectation. That's what I'd move forward to. Defying the expectation really fell in the realm of me deciding that no, I wasn't going to do that. That ultimately I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I wanted to go and build my own empire, is what I call it. And so when the idea got stuck in my head, it really was a time in my life where I was about to turn the age of 39. Why is that important? And why would I just throw my
Mm.
age out there? Is because I don't care for anybody to know how old I am. I'm
I
47
I
now.
don't either. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like whatever, So, but it's important because at that age that I turned 39, it was the age that my father was when he passed away. Pivotal moment in life, in my life, when I realized I'd reached the age that he was when he was no longer here. And I felt very blessed and honored for that opportunity to reach the age of 39. And then it looked like I might live longer than 39, which I have because I'm 47 now. So at that time, I realized this massive career that I built that was amazing and beautiful, and all these people that I've been able to help, thousands of students that have come through my
Right.
colleges, hundreds of staff members I'd hired and gotten promoted and helped their careers grow and blossom. Like, what about Kenyatta? Like, I wanted to build my own
Right.
empire, right? So the expectation was I would continue to do what I was doing, get my doctorate degree, become a campus president, and that would be my life, working in post-secondary education. But I realized, no, I wanted freedom. That's was the most important thing to me. So ultimately, once I had that idea in my head, Kenyatta, what's the rest of your life going to look like past the age of 39? Will you
Right.
die here working for these colleges, or will you go out and build something bigger and more profound? And I realized that's what I was going to do. So I quit.
You just
my
up and quit.
Up and quit. I gave like my notice. I'm like, I'm gonna go build my empire. And I remember my boss at the time was like, what the hell does that even mean? I'm like, I don't know, but I gotta go do it, right? Defying the expectation of, no, you stay here, you work this job, you've built this career. Like, why would you leave to go into the unknown to build some business? You don't even know what the business is. Well, it was already in my heart. I already knew what I had to do. I had to leave because then after I made the decision, I realized I could no longer be there.
Yeah.
I couldn't be there. Like, I
You just
walked in the
like
building.
it was over in your mind. It was completely over.
I walk in the building and I'd stand there like, I gotta get out of here. Like, it was breathing me anxiety, and I loved what I did. I mean, I was passionate about it up until that day. I was
Golly.
no longer passionate about it. And so here's what I learned. Those of you listening, think about this. I was passionate about it until I wasn't anymore. So when you hear people talk about like passions, like, oh my God, you got to find your passion. Sure. But that can change.
Yeah.
I think the thing is to recognize when it has, and again, defy the expectation that people have. No, Kenyatta, you've built this career. This is what we do. We stay here, we work, and we
Right.
whatever. And I was like, no, I'm going to go out and build a business. And it's been 8 years, and that's what I've done. And ultimately, another part of the expectation was I decided that if I failed, okay, let's say I couldn't build the business. Let's say I didn't know what I was doing, whatever. Worst case scenario, I go get another job.
Right.
Because the expectation is that if I had all that education, computer information systems degree, a master's degree in management, 20 plus years of executive leadership and post-secondary education, I should be able to get another job if I had to.
Pretty sure you could. Yep.
Right. So
That's how I felt when I was an IT consultant, is like, if this consulting job does not work out, I can get another one
yeah.
because I can figure it out.
Yeah. And if I couldn't get one, then what was all that for?
Yeah.
What were the 2 degrees and all that experience for if I couldn't use it later? You know what I'm saying?
Very,
So
very good.
again,
There's a phrase that I heard recently, and it fits, I think, what fits what you were talking about. And that is, I don't know how, I only know that.
oh,
Like, I
yes,
don't know how, I only know that I'm going to build
an
my
empire.
freedom empire.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. I don't know how, but I only know that I will. And absolutely, I love that because that's exactly what it was. I had no clue. I
Right.
just knew other people could go out and start businesses and build empires. So why
Right.
couldn't I?
Well, and that's the thing. I just recently put up someplace, maybe on my website, "Are you ready to reclaim your dreams?" And
Mm,
it's like,
mhm.
um, you may not know how. You may not know how, but you know that, and you can figure it out. And
Yep.
and the expectation is you're going to continue doing what you're doing. You're
Yes.
gonna, it's like a very, what I consider like an old time notion, that you're going to get a job and you're going to stay with it until you retire and get the gold watch and it's over. Well,
Sure.
for one thing, jobs aren't really like that anymore,
Mm-mm.
but you don't have to do it. I mean, that doesn't have to be your way.
No.
So
And go ahead.
tell me about the transformation in your life since you started, since you took that big leap.
Mm. It's been cray cray. It's been
I
scary.
know how busy you are. I know how freaking busy you
It's
are.
been crazy. I mean, it's been 8 years, so it's my life now. It is a way
Mhm.
of life. The transition, I think, one of the hardest things is going from the mindset of an employee to an entrepreneur.
Yes.
That's a daily thing. That's why we as entrepreneurs are always like looking for opportunities to grow and learn and surround ourselves with like-minded individuals. That's why we need to dig so deep to become self-aware of what it is that really truly drives us and how we actually make the decisions. We always want to be the boss, but we don't want to boss ourselves. Like if I am my own boss and my own employee, and I probably should have been fired a long time ago. Like someone should have come in and fired
Certain
me, you know
days.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
certain days you're
Yeah.
like,
Certain
"Ooh."
days I'm like, you're fired, and I'm like, crap, I still got to show up the next day, So then there's that. So I think, a lot of the things that have been expected, you know, as a woman, as a Black woman, as a woman in a coaching industry, in a behavioral science industry, like these companies, like we're a Black owned behavioral science firm, the Dream Smart Academy. There isn't that, there's
Right.
so many expectations that people have around certain industries and who can do it and who can be successful at it, and how you should live your life is
Mhm.
so. I think the thing I've learned the most is that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about how I should live my life. Like, it
And
just
that
doesn't really matter unless I wanna take that advice and that teaching from someone and apply it to something that makes sense for me, right? That's why I
right.
seek mentors. That's why I have coaches, trusted people that I want to hear what they have to say and what their perspectives and life experiences have been to help maybe shorten the learning curve for me, but
Mhm.
also I still get to choose. So sometimes about defining expectations, I think about is being able to stand up and say, okay, I know this is what you said and what you think might be right for me. However, that isn't right for me. And I
Mhm.
really truly am going to do it this way. And that's not only in business, because obviously I've done that multiple times in my business, trying to understand what Freedom Empire Consulting was, what
Mhm.
Freedom Empire was, and what my mind told me I needed for myself.
Mhm.
And that's not just in a professional, that's my personal life as well.
Right, right.
For instance, defining
Y
expectations. Some
you
people think
are
I should
you
be
are
married with
your
kids right now.
yeah, you are your brand.
Yeah.
You are your freedom empire. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's to do what I want, when I want, how I want, for as long as I want, come back when I want, have money in the bank, hang out with whatever. Like I want
Mhm.
full freedom over things like that. To me,
Mhm.
that's the most important thing. However, expectations could dictate something else.
Yeah.
Like I should be married, I should have kids, I should, have a jobby job, I should do this or do that,
Yep.
whatever. I'm not doing anything I don't want to do.
Yeah.
So that's it.
And I found when I started my new career at I was over 60, or was I maybe 60? You were there.
I was there.
Um, I thought that, oh gosh, senior moment, I've lost my train of thought. I
We thought we
thought
were 60. Yeah.
so sometimes it's your own expectations of yourself,
True. Hmm.
that get in your way. Like, I'm retired from my tech job. I should
Hmm.
be relaxing. I should be doing this, that, and the other thing. But it
Hmm.
was like you said when you first, I wrote this down. What's the rest of my life going to look like? Is this it?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I don't have to. I can do whatever I want. I have complete freedom to do it, but it does take a lot of work because, like you said, you have to dig deep, and
Yes.
you have to get past the things in your own head that are holding you back from
Hmm.
taking that leap, from taking that bold move, and you have to get beyond what other people are telling you is the right thing for you. One of the things that I read recently was it was about curating your I think I reposted it in LinkedIn. It was about curating your support system.
Oh
And
yeah.
you
Hmm.
don't have to take advice from people who aren't working hard as well. Like you can decide, like you said,
Hmm.
I can decide who I want to listen to, and I can decide whose advice I want to take. And
Hmm.
you don't have to listen to the critics, and you don't have to listen to the folks saying you shouldn't be doing that,
Right.
because it's your life.
Right. I
Yep.
often ask myself the question, does this serve me?
That's
Hmm.
a good question.
And if it doesn't, then I ask myself, why am I allowing it?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes I put myself in the framework of I'm going to do something because it serves me. And some people may say, people, right? That's selfish. You should be serving the greater good. But see, I can't do that if I don't serve me. So that's
Yes.
really where it starts. It starts with me being cool with Kenyatta, me being cool with what it is I'm doing, me allowing things or people into my life that ultimately serve me. And if it doesn't, then I can't serve anyone else. It's taking away from my capacity to do so.
Yeah,
That's why it's so
definitely.
important to choose who your tribe is. Who, like, I think you did a post and you're like, these people are my posse. And I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
I'm in Suki's posse, right? Which
That
is
was the
awesome
post.
because you don't have to let everybody in.
Right.
You know
You
what I
don't.
mean? And so it's true. We should be selective with that. And some people, the expectation could be, well, you should be following this person. You should be doing this. Everyone's got something to say. And you know what? I always like to tell people, even this thing right here, oftentimes people will say, everyone has a story and everyone should share their story. I will combat that all day long. And I will say, I agree that we all have one, but I do not agree that everyone should share it. You should only share it if you want to, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and if
it,
it serves
it,
you.
and
If
if it
it
serves
doesn't
you,
if it doesn't serve you to tell your story, keep it to yourself.
keep it to yourself. And you don't
Yeah.
have to, but people will say this. I mean, especially right now, they're like, share your story, share your story, share your story. And it's sometimes people get the expectation, oh my God, I have to do this thing. No, you don't.
Mhm.
You only should if you want to, and if you feel like it serves you first. Then only then could it actually serve someone else. Because if it doesn't serve you, then it's going to be all wrong. It's going to come out all, something's going to be off. It's going to be out of alignment.
Mhm.
So to me, it's more important about being in alignment, right? And that's just my suggestion. Those of you listening, take it if you want. That's just how I feel, and how I choose to move through the world.
Yeah. Yep. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Well, I'm so happy to have you on my
Mm.
show.
I'm
Um,
honored to be on your show. I feel
Defying Expectations.
extremely special. I
And you are, of course.
love it.
And, you guys, if you don't know Kenyatta already, you should connect with her. She's fascinating, and you can see she's full of energy, and, she's literally the things that she has, um, shown me. Oh, there goes my
Oh,
camera again.
there goes the
The
camera.
I know, I look into it and it turns off, thanks. So the
Ah,
things that she's shown me and the information and the stories and the experiences that she has led me to have changed my life. They've been transformational.
hmm.
And they're one of the reasons that I am defying the expectations of a woman who's 63 in her retirement years, creating something from scratch that she loves that she believes will help people. So Kenyatta, thank you
Can I
again.
jump can I jump right in again real quick?
Okay.
Sorry. I
All
just
right.
wanna say, I wanna piggyback on what you just said, right? Because your experience is truly one of defying those expectations, right? We've talked so much about that,
We have.
about what, someone might think, a woman your age, retired, that they should be doing and whatever, and not everyone agrees, right? With the decisions you're making, but you have, like, defied those expectations in such a way, like you said, created something from scratch. Those of you who are listening, who are connected to Suki Jeffries right now, pay attention to what this woman is doing, pay attention to what she's giving to the world, what she's created. Because again, I saw it blossom and bloom into this thing where I'm just like, whoa. Like, my opinion was I needed it and the world needed it, and you choosing to defy those expectations continuously. And even by this live show right now, that is why I am so honored to be on it, because it did not exist. And here we are right now, being a
Yeah.
guest on your show because of what you've done. So I just wanted to give you some, like, mad props, because again, like, you inspire me. I honor you. And those of you who are listening, pay attention to Suki Jeffries, because she is just getting started and it's going to be big, big, big.
Kenyatta, I wish you could see me right now. All I can
I know.
see
I
is
wish I could see you too.
all I can see is a little icon. I'm beaming from ear to ear. You honor me by those beautiful and kind words. And
Truth.
so everybody connect with Kenyatta, follow my blog. So my business is Courage Rises. I am a women's empowerment coach. I like to help women at or nearing retirement age to create a life they love. So connect with me on my website, couragerises.life, Life. I will post Kenyatta's contact information in the comments. And I'm so glad to have had you listening today. And Kenyatta, I love you. Thanks for being
Love you
on.
too, girl. Thank you for having me. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day out there. You,
Thanks.
man.
Bye.
Bye.